journey starts with an extremely promising omen. Here our car burns, and down there they will throw bombs at us. Ironically, Archduke Franz Ferdinand said this about his overheated car on the morning of his death.
Sarajevo was annexed by Austria-Hungary in 1908. Franz Ferdinand became heir to the throne in 1913. He opposed the annexation because he believed it was an unnecessary event regarding southern slaves in Russia. This made him a target to radical Serbian nationalist groups.
Franz Ferdinand arrived in Sarajevo on June 28, 1914 with his wife Sophie, where 7 Bosnian Serbs were waiting his arrival along his route to assassinate him. The first bombing attempt missed his car and injured civilians, causing Ferdinand to escape and take a new route to meet the injured civilians at the hospital. Unfortunately, the driver was misinformed by the new route. This led to Gabrielo Princip being able to shoot and kill Ferdinand and his wife out front Schiller's grocery store on Franz Josef Street.
After his assassination, anti-Serb violence broke out. Austria-Hungary wrote a letter known as the July Ultimatum to the Serbs, stating that if they did not accept all of their demands within 48 hours, they would recall their ambassador. Serbia did not accept these demands, therefore Austria-Hungary declared war, known as World War I.
At the site of the assassination now stands a museum remembering the events in Bosnia that led up to the start of World War I. The museum takes the place of the delicatessen where Gavrilo Princip waited for Ferdinand. There is a marking on the floor inside the museum at the spot where Princip opened fire and assassinated the Archduke and his wife.
After visiting this site, I learned a lot about the importance of communication. Franz Ferdinand passed away because of miscommunication about what route he was taking. It was an unfortunate event, but it is a lesson we can all learn from. It's important that we put aside our differences in religion and culture and come together as one community, so that way we can avoid tragedies like this happening in the future.
When we were visiting the site, I saw people walking around not really giving the area a second glance, and it seemed like for such a historical, significant event, they weren't really thinking about how it could be affecting them today.
The effects of the wars are still present in modern-day Sarajevo, as the beautiful city is filled with division and reclusion from the various groups of people that live here. From Muslims to Jews to Christians, the wars spurred a sense of nationalism in each community, which caused the divisive behavior since each group did not wish to be associated with the others. The idea of nationalism is one of the many causes to World War I, and Sarajevo is a prime example of the effects of nationalism, as the war started on its very own streets.